All right, well, I should be right back. Okay, let's see whether my new stream flickers. That said, I'm not actually sure that I'm streaming again, because Twitch is sometimes not great. Okay, I am. All right, well, let's see whether or not that fixed it. If so, that was pretty easy. I'll just have to remember that. Unfortunately, I don't think that the frame rate is something I can save as part of a portfolio. I think that's considered global. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, public, blend... Ugh, that didn't work. Blend expression. That's great to hear, Colt. I've been pretty nervous about that recently. Yeah, hopefully that did fix it. Hold on, it's really hot in here now. Bah, there's a hell of a snowstorm going on outside. Alright, so public, blend expression, find expression, string name. And we're going to go ahead and just search through all of our expressions. And return it if it's a correct. Return, oh, if, that's not it, if expressions a.name equals name, return expressions a. Except for that's not really what we want to do now, is it? Because if we do that, we're going to end up creating a duplicate of it, aren't we? No, blend expression is a class. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It'll work. Otherwise, return. We don't actually want to return it. We want to create a new one. So expressions debug.log creating new expression plus name. But we're also going to want to say this.name plus creating new expression name. We're going to say blend expression exp equals new blend expression exp dot name equals name. Return exp, but we need to add it into list. So expressions. Let's go ahead and just make this a list. Expressions dot add exp. Yeah, I have the heat on. I'm not going to sit in the middle of a snowstorm with no heat on. The problem is that I have a really old house and the thermostat is in the middle of the house and I am at one of the edges. So when there's a storm or something similar, the actual heating really needs to be tweaked because it depends on things like how wet the windows are. Anyway, if we're trying to save the current expression, we're going to need to get the current expression. Find expression, next expression name. There we go. And then we're going to want to just go through all of our blend keys, and any of them that aren't at 0 will stick into our expression. So exp.blend keys, we're going to want to first just find them. So for int a equals 0, a is less than, face dot do I have to get the number of blend shapes from the mesh? That's pretty shitty. Pretty shitty. Yeah, I do. Interesting. All right, fine. Shared mesh.blend count. Let's go ahead and say int count int shapes equals a is less than shapes, a plus plus, int num changes equals 0. Well, we'll just go ahead and do it on the fly here. Dictionary workaround. Keys or shapes. Mod. What do you call it? blend shapes equals new list dictionary record. There. So what we need to do is we need to say that if the blend shape has a value, we save it. So face dot get blend shape weight. Okay, so this is all done by index. Interesting. That's gonna bite us in the ass. Colt Zero says, is ++a faster than a++? If so, it's such a meaningless, tiny fraction of space that it doesn't matter. The real difference is the order in which a is returned. If you can see that pretty clearly if you are going to debug something. So hold on, I'll show you. Here in the expression manager, if I create a new value, float a equals 0, I can say debug.log a value a++ val is, and then I can return a++. And then I can say ++a value. But I actually haven't tried this in C#. This might be something I'm misremembering from a long time ago. Of course. Grind, grind, grind. Come on. Yeah, see, here's the difference. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which one is faster because that's a microscopic difference. We're talking about like one operation out of 10 trillion. But you can see the biggest difference here is the value that's returned. A++ returns the value of a and then increments a. ++a increments a and then returns the value. And that is a big difference. So definitely be aware of that. So, anyhow, we are going to need to get our blend shapes by name. Getting our blend shapes by index is not going to do us any good if we ever change anything on the face later. So we're definitely going to want to map them to name. The good news is we should be able to get the shared mesh and then find the blend shape. Oh, wow. Wow, you can actually... Fascinating. What the hell is a blend shape frame? Let's look this up. Blend shape frame Unity. Name of the blend shape to add a frame to. Wait for the... Oh, cool! If blend shape name does not exist, then a new blend shape frame can only be added to a new blend shape or the last blend shape. Oh, interesting. Usually there will be a single frame for a blend shape, but the range of blending may be split into multiple frames. Frame must always be added in increasing weight order. Oh, this is interesting. So I can generate blend shapes that have unusual bends and aren't linear. That's really interesting, but they have to be generated. They can't be imported from our buddy Blender. The Moon is a Cheese says, is that seriously standard library? How? I'm not sure what she's talking about. You have to remember, it's been like 15 seconds since I said whatever I said. So we've got the blend shapes, the count. What we need to do is get the names. Here we are. So we're going to just go ahead and grab the name of each blend shape. And then we're going to get the value. We might as well get the value first. Value equals face.blend, get blend shape weight a. If val equals 0, then continue. We won't need to get the name if there's no reason to. And then what we'll do now is we will apply this by adding in a new dictionary workaround. When you're in trouble, you can call DW. dw.val equals val. And then we can add that to our giant stack of names. So blend shapes.add DW. And that'll give us a list of all of the blend shapes that have been changed. And what we're going to do is save those to our expression. Expression.blendKeys equals blendshapes.toArray. And that should save us an expression. Let's go ahead and try it out. So if we take a look at our generic face, let's go ahead and give a smile and an eye scrunch. Ooh, whoa, that... What? I don't know what happened there, but that was fascinating. Ooh, that's wrong. Looks like some of these blend shapes have been damaged. Fascinating. Yeah, look at, they're being moved on the wrong axis. Maybe all of these are being moved on the wrong axis. No, that's correct. That's interesting. Well, we'll deal with that later. So there we have a slightly rictus smile. Without the proper use of eyebrows, it's going to look really weird. But apparently I broke the eyebrows at some point. I'll have to redo them later. Either way, what we can do now is go back up here to FDAE, make our next expression name grin. And if we look in here, we've got 0 expressions. We're going to go ahead and save our expression. We now have a grin. And we have, we had one, but it was unnamed. And then here on grin, we have 0 blend keys. The variable face of expression manager is unassigned. Right, my bad. Face. There we are, grin. And we've got 4, smile, eye scrunch, lip up, lip down, down. Sounds good. So we have a thing which can end up creating expressions for us. Or rather, saving expressions. And then what we can do is we can apply those expressions in much the same way. And I've already got that partially set up with this list of avatar expressions. So what we're going to need to do is create a function which applies them. So that'll also have to be at a specific rate. Public void apply expression string name float val equals 1. And here we're just going to go ahead and grab the expression equals find expression name. And then we're going to go ahead and apply expression exp val public void apply expression exp float val equals 1. That is not how you spell float. There. So what we're going to do is when we apply an expression, we're going to want to manipulate the blend shapes into a new value, but only to the extent of our percentage there. The key to this is that we're going to run into blend shapes that have already been modified, and we want to modify them to the higher of any competing values that we run into. So that means that if you have a big smile and also raised eyebrows, then the big smile's raised eyebrows won't multiply with your default raised eyebrows. You just get whichever one is bigger. So to do that, we're going to go through all of the expressions frames here. A is less than expression.blendkeys.length, A++. And we're going to grab the blend shape key by saying face.sharedmesh.getBlendShapeIndex and pass it the blend shape name. There it is. It's hot in here again. Hold on, I gotta keep turning down the heat. I may put out a lot more heat when I'm streaming because I keep opening my big fat mouth. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the current blend value, which is the face.getBlendShapeWeight blend key. And we're going to get our target value, which is our face.shared, x.blendkeys a.value times val. If current val is greater than or equal to target val, then continue. We don't have to make any changes. Otherwise, we do. So we say face.setBlendShapeWeight blend key val. And we can go ahead and put a debug in here. Debug.log name plus taking expression plus explicit name plus at there we are. That way we'll be able to tell what's going on. So this will allow us to apply expressions, but we're also going to want to have a public void apply current expression. And what that's going to do is just apply our current name, and it's for debug purposes here. Next expression name, see that? So we're going to go ahead and say apply expression, next expression name, comma 1. That will allow us to just do some debug, but we're going to need to put that into our context menu. And lastly, we're going to need to have a function which clears our blend shapes. Clear current expression, and that's just going to go through and clear them all. So here you can see we've got this already set up. We might as well just steal it. And we'll say that face.setBlendShapeWeight A0. Debug.log cleared, or name expression cleared. So now when we go up here and do our expression manager script, we can clear the expression, boom, and then we can apply the expression, boom. Oh, that didn't work. It's supposed to work, but it didn't work. Aha! These values didn't end up being applied at the value I expected. Interesting. Is that because the expression manager... No, these values are saved correctly. So if we look down here, the result here is that we ended up with a 1. Debug.log target val is target val. And we'll just go ahead and see what the heck is going on there. So it's trying to set them to 112 and 75 and 27 and 19. But it isn't working. It's only getting set to 1 because I'm setting it to val and not target val, you idiot. Gotta stop using things that are named the same. There we are. So now we can apply these expressions, which means that we can create characters that have default expressions. Now this expression is particularly hideous. My smiles have not been great, but I can easily create other shapes to get different expressions out of them. For now, what we're going to do is create another shape just so that we can get a difference, a delta between them. And we'll go ahead and go over to the body and create a frowny face. frowny face. Does the brow down work? No, it's also weirdly off for it. You know what it might be? I rebound some of the bones in that area. Maybe the blend shapes got bound to the bone, and when I twisted the bone around, their axis changed. I'm trying to think of what it could be, but I gotta tell you, I really don't know. Here we are, frowny. We can get ourselves an eye scrunch if we would like. And we'll have to work on our eye scrunches. A lot of this stuff is aging now and needs to be redone. But if it has the same name, it'll just work. Won't that be nice? So let's go over there and save this frowny expression. Now we've got a frowny expression. Hey, Eva Luigi, welcome to my stream. It's been, geez, 2 weeks since anybody saw my stream. I did stream, but nobody showed up because Twitch was bugging out. And it was Christmas. All right, so we have now built an expression manager with 2 expressions. And we're going to be using expressions to make our characters feel a little bit more unique. Sorry about the zooming in. My mouse has a really sensitive scroll wheel. We're going to want to be able to create an arbitrary expression and save it. So public void create avatar expression. Yeah, we'll just do it like that. You call it generate, because create might be put it back on their face, not create it fresh. I don't know why you don't organize your entire life around watching me dick around with some model and Blender. So what we're going to want to do is take this avatar expressions and clear it. And then we're going to add in a couple of new ones. Now the number we're going to add in is just 1 at the moment, because otherwise we'll get both. So avatar expressions, dictionary workaround. DW equals new dictionary workaround. DW.val equals random.value. But we're going to want to end up with a value that's closer to 1 and not as far away from 1. So we're going to actually use range here. And range can take some floats, so we'll take it as an 0.3f and 1f. And now we're going to need to name it, so we're going to go ahead and name it dw.name.key equals expressions random.range 0, expressions .count .name. And then we'll just add that avatar expressions .add DW. And then we'll go ahead and say apply avatar expression. Public void apply avatar expression. For each, I guess we'll just do for int a equals 0, a is less than avatar expressions dot count a plus plus. Apply expression avatar expression. Yeah, that's right. Avatar expressions a dot key, comma avatar expressions a dot val. Debug.log name plus receiving default expressions. Personal default expressions. There we are. That should allow us to apply our avatar expressions, and all we really need to do now is in here in start, we'll say generate avatar expressions. But boom. And hit play here, and there we are. We have a smiling character with a custom skin tone. The skin tone is, as I mentioned, not very good at the moment. We'll have to work with that. We're only getting smiles, and the reason for that is because the range is not inclusive, even though it clearly says it is. So, just add 1 here. There we are. Now we got a pout. No? Now it's giving me out of range. Maybe I just had really bad luck. Oh, no, wait. I just had bad luck, of course. I know that it's not exclusive, but yeah, I just had bad luck. So now we've got a character with random skin and a random expression, and it is trivial to add in a random face because we've already built that. However, I've got to tell you that while it is trivial, it requires a lot of work because the facial expressions that we created before were on a completely different facial rig, and therefore they don't translate. The other facial rig was built to allow for expressions in the actual bones, the bone expressions. And this one uses blend shapes instead, and the bones are entirely for shaping the face. So we have to basically completely rebuild our system, and I guess we'll go ahead and do that. This is the Bone Lord script, which handles our bone deforms. But what we want to make sure to do is to put this into the correct namespace. The problem is, last time I tried to do this, boy, did it hate it. It, refused to work at all. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we try and add it in. Something wrong here. Can I recompile the entire project? There's got to be a way to recompile the entire project, right? I wonder why there's no recompile option. So there's not any compile errors listed, but it can't find the Bone Lord script, presumably because it is really, really confused. If I move this into a different directory, will it just start to magically work? I never thought that changing namespaces would cause it to completely fail to compile. That's ridiculous. I guess we'll try a build. I don't know why it's taken so long to package the assets. That is a hell of a long delay. Made with Unity, huh? I keep disabling it, and they keep re-enabling it. Right, it works. So next thing we've got to do is go into the build settings here and player settings and tell it not to use the fucking splash screen. Why does it start as enabled? Do they really think I'm going to leave it in? Are you fucking kidding me? Don't even joke. Yeah, the moon is a cheese. There are lots of situations where stuff is monstrous, but I would prefer for this to just work and not be monstrous. So I could just change the name of the object. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So we'll just refactor this. Call it something besides Bone Lord. We will call it... Why is this all red? Really? Why are you crashed? That was weird. Instead of calling it Bone Lord, we'll call it... Deform Manager. Yeah, thanks. I'll be careful about that, Unity. You freaking idiot. Anyway, we don't need you anymore. Delete. Now, one of the things that I did is I attached it to neck 03 because I didn't need it to have the rest of the body bones. I only needed it to have just the head bone. The body bones will be handled by a different deform manager. What? This is really, really weird. All right. Well, let's rename it to Bone Lord again. And then what we'll do is we'll just create a new one. Hello? There we are. This will be our deform manager. And what we'll do is we'll just copy all this shit in and call it a... Oh, let's see, wrong one. Bone Lord closed. Okay, we'll open Bone Lord. We'll go ahead and call this Bone Deform Manager. To Infinity and Beyond says that MonoDevelop messed it up. It's definitely an interesting bug, and I'm not happy about it. But it's not enough to make me give Microsoft my my login credentials and let them watch me work. So no. So we don't have any need for this Bone Lord file. Get rid of it. And now we'll try it. Yeah, that wasn't it. I missed it. There we are. Script component deform manager because a class cannot be found. There must be... This is something interesting. There must be something weird going on here. I bet you there's something I don't understand. This is fascinating. And if I take it out of the namespace avatar, it'll just work. What? Boy, is there something I don't understand about namespaces? I've turned down the heat again. Hold on. Well, we'll figure that out later. For now, we'll just go ahead and leave it in the main namespace. Whatever. We'll go ahead and clear this. So we're going to have to create ourselves a new set of situations for our face so that we can deform it in all sorts of fun ways. To Infinity and Beyond says, Unity makes a fuss about mono behaviors being in single class files. Yeah, I can probably split it apart into multiple files. Why not? Let's go ahead and try that out, see if that helps any. But the problem is that these other files aren't mono behaviors. They're just raw support classes. But we can go ahead and set it up as their own files here. And bone list. Was it lowercase l? But the thing is, I have other avatar namespaced classes that don't have this issue, that have like multiple classes inside of the file. So I honestly don't. I mean, it's possible this is it because it might just be something stupid happening. But if so, it just proves that there's something really stupid happening. Yep, you were right. That was it. So, to infinity and beyond, thank you very much. You fixed my namespace problem. I still have no idea what it was, but it's fixed now. But the thing is, to infinity and beyond, I can prove that's not true. Because here is... well, I guess that's not a Unity, isn't that the case here? You might be right. It might be that in all the other cases where I've done this, it's been 2 C# classes. Raw C# classes. Huh, okay. Well, whatever. I'll remember it for later. Well, the moon is a cheese. The code always worked fine. It's the friggin' compiler that was barfing. Anyway, we now have a list of all of the bones in our skull, and we can adjust them to our own personal preferences. Do we have the defaults set up yet and the poses? So let's go ahead and save defaults. Yeah, this default's already got saved. Good. And now we can go ahead and create some facial expressions. Let's start off with some big chins. In this case, I think it's probably MonoDevelop's fault, but yeah, we can blame Unity. No one ever cries if you blame Unity. And they have more than their fair share of bugs anyway. Happens when you grow this fast. Big chin. I act in B-movies. So that should work. Just scaling up the chin. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. One bone scaled up. So apply random pose, save pose. And now we'll create another one, which we'll call small chin. I've got a tiny chin. Now at the small chin, I actually want to move the whole lip area back. Like that. There we are. Big chin, small chin. Now let's see. I can undo that stuff. And we can go for different eyes, just to get going with some stuff that will just instantly work out for our needs. So we'll call this small narrow eye, and then we'll have some other details for other kinds of eyes. We'll scale these down. I think I can just scale them both down. I don't think I have any specific offsets. Do I still have the low? Okay, I've got to increase this. I did the snapping quite a while ago to change it to 0.005, and then I multiplied the size of the mesh by 10. So that's no longer really viable. There we go. There we go. Save that. And we'll have small, wide eyes. Small, wide set eye. We should just go the opposite direction. To be honest, that might be too far. Well, it's okay. Who cares? Not me. Then we'll have a large eye. We have to restore all this crap to its defaults before we can move forward. I know we can just reset pose? Boom, there we are. And we'll just grab these guys and we'll scale up. Got big eyes. That'll do. And then we'll have wide set eye. And this will just move the eye without, one at a time, please. Without scaling it at all. There we are. And, narrow eye, I guess? Narrow set eyes. There are lots of things we can do. We can go on like this all day and all night. But there are lots and lots of things that we can now do that we couldn't do before. For example, our eyebrows can now be manipulated as part of our character. That'll give us some great expressive characters when we get around to it. Let's go ahead and get around to it. Angry face, or angry brow. If we take a look, we've got it split into a couple of different brows like before, but unlike before, these are manipulated separately from each other, rather than being entirely linked. There we are. That is a reasonable angry brow. So we'll save that pose, and then we'll do a sad brow. That'll do. We could do some nose editing and some lip editing and stuff, but for now, let's make sure that this works. Randomized character. Randomized. 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 Okay, so we're going to need one more here. We're going to need wide chins. Square face. Now the square face takes advantage of some new bones that I put in to try and get us some decent left-right scaling. Whereas the jaw scale gave us a, jut out here, the skin scale. The big jaw gave us that giant butt chin. This will give us a square face, as you can see. And that works pretty well. There are some other options we have, such as moving them forward and so on. We can also adjust the jowls like this. There's lots of stuff we can do to try and make this unique. It should work. It should be good. I'm going to go ahead and scale this up on just one axis. There we go. Yeah, perfect. Save pose. All right. We'll reset the character. And then what we'll do is we will have in here our custom avatar. So right now we've got a skin manager. We're also going to need to have a deform manager. And an array of deform managers, sorry. And we're also going to need to have a expression manager. So here in randomize, we're not just going to do the skin color, we're also going to do the others. We're also going to do the expression. Generate avatar expression. There it is. And you don't need to be there. Where am I? Custom avatar. Generate random expression. And then we're going to want to go through and generate random deforms for all of our deform managers. Apply random pose. Right. So now what we're going to do is set those up. We could auto-detect these, but for reasons that we'll get into in a year or maybe 2 years, I don't want to. Anyway, let's drop in some of this stuff. There's a deform manager. Here's an expression manager. Let's hit play. Oh, I was doing it all while paused? No. It was paused but not playing. That's fine. Good. Whew. So now you can see that when we hit play, we get a random character whose eyes and face track the camera. Ah! Let me go ahead and hide our face look. Saccade target. Don't need to see it. Random characters. So what happens when we take this camera, we move it a little bit like this, rotate like this, and then what we can do is duplicate the FDAE. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. There it is. Perfect. Now if we look at it with the camera, we get a set of faces that's pretty nice. We can just pull in here. And there we are. Something like that, right? And then when we hit play, we should end up with 4 different characters, all of whom look in our direction. Some of those eyes seem a little bit off. And that's because we're looking a little too far to the side. We never implemented our turn our head so that we can turn that far. Did this. I think we need a few more expressions before I post pictures of this, because that is a little bit off. Let's go back into the Moon is a Cheese says this is really friggin' creepy for some reason. I can't imagine why. So here's the core problem. Creating characters and trying to make them realistic is naturally going to end up hitting you right in the uncanny valley. And this is particularly bad because I have put in some lively eye motions and stuff, and it gets really aggressive. I'm probably going to have to wrestle with the uncanny valley quite a lot, but since I'm throwing this stuff together, it's going to be real bad for a while. Right. I was going to open up the FDAE file and fix our eyebrow blend shapes because they're all screwed up. So here are our various blend shapes, and if I look at this, yeah, it's broken here in Blender too. I bet it was when I modified the bones, because that's obviously not what I want. So the question is there a way to clear these? Reset to default value? I'm sure that there is a way to clear them, right? Delete all shapes. That sounds dangerously like removing everything. Yeah. So I don't think there's a way to clear the shape data. I think that it only... I think I have to delete it and recreate it. Great. Oh, and the Moon is a Cheese says that the eyes, when the head turns, the eyes stay fixed. That's a really good point. And originally, I was going to make them blink. I never implemented the blink function. And of course, the eyes don't have a strong enough scan saccade. So that's actually something I can fix. Let's go ahead and fix that before I forget. We'll go ahead and pop on over into our standard asset scripts here to custom avatar, deform manager, expression manager, face manager. Where are you? Real face. So basically, when we are moving our face, we'll want to make sure that we redo our saccade targeting. And that means that we're going to force our eye target to have a saccade whenever our head has moved some. So here, we're going to say eye target dot saccade boost. Yeah, we'll call it saccade boost. So over here in the eye target, public void saccade boost. What we'll do is we will simply reduce the counters. Or it'll be the macro counter. And we'll count that as 5 frames, 5 extra frames. That might be a little bit better. Well, that was interesting. They really snap, don't they? That's... Why were they so well behaved the other day and now they're snapping around like mad? Now, the fixed gaze is still super creepy. Well, I don't have any way to make them blink yet. We'll hold off on that. But anyhow, we've got to rebuild these brows, and so that's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and move these to the bottom. And we don't have to worry about this screwing anything up because we're using names, not indexes, which is the reason we're using names, not indexes. Once I have idle animations, it'll be fine. There's a lot of things that we're going to need to add. We're putting in the pieces one at a time here, and that's clearly going to make things look really silly for a while. So this is going to be our brow down. And it's going to be a sculpt where we bring our brows down, not into the back of the skull, as it for some reason thought we wanted to do. One of the issues here is that our eyebrows are attached to a different mesh. They're not part of our head. If I join them, that'll screw up all of our blend shapes, won't it? Let's try it out, shall we? Okay, so there now is 1. Let's see how much damage that did to our other... Ah, I think it may have survived. Well, huzzah. This will allow us to do our various brow techniques without needing to do a separate system. However, it means that our mesh will have 2 materials, and we may have to worry about that. That'll do. Minus, and then we'll do brow scrunch. This is going to need to be fixed, I believe. Huh. That's actually pretty close to right, but it doesn't include the right objects, so we'll fix it. This will be brow scrunch old. Pull this forward a little bit here. Not that much. Now, if we go in here, we can massage these verts individually to try and get a little bit of a crease. the crease should ideally go through here, but we don't have any diagonal curves running through that area, so it'll look wrong. It'll be like squawkly, if you know what I mean, and that's obviously no good. So that's not going to work. We're going to just leave it like that. That'll be good enough. Now later on, we're probably going to tweak all of these or completely replace them. We're going to have a different face in the very long run. Brow up, mid, old. Brow up, mid. And we'll just go ahead and pull these brows up. Now the thing you want to avoid with this is having the eye socket collapse. Now if you see what I mean, see how it moves the whole eye socket? That's clearly wrong. We can use a little bit of inflate brush to maybe tweak that. Good enough. We might have to tweak it later. You are in my way. There we are. Better. So we're going to need to have... there we are. Going to need to have a couple of mirrored bones here. Brow up, out, L. We'll go ahead and grab them and move them up. Oh, I want to turn off our mirroring for this. Boom. Well, that didn't work. Oh, of course it didn't work. There we are. And as before, we need to make sure that we don't end up with a deflated eye socket. So we'll just, well, we grabbed too much. We drank too deeply. Oops, I screwed that up, didn't I? We should still be fine. Yeah. I grabbed the eyelid and rather than just the brow, and it didn't end up working as hoped. There we are. Go ahead and make it a little bit stronger than that. And then we can inflate to bring the eye socket back in, like that. When we look at it, not too bad. That might be a little bit too evil. Let's move the middle. That's a little bit better. That's fine. Now if we go in here, we can manipulate our creases. Try and get ourselves a little bit of a crease out of this deal. Just a little bit. That'll do. And so now what we're going to do is delete the old 2. We don't need either of these. And then we're going to want to clone this guy. I think I have to bring it to 1 and then say new shape from mix. Yeah, and then what I do is I mirror shape key. Topology? No, that didn't work. Delete this guy. Brow up L. New shape key from mix. Up. Mirror shape key. No, it's really not working. And that's not something that can be undone. How great. Let's go ahead and hide the hair. New shape key from mix, right? Why isn't there just a way to clone the shape key? If I hit plus, it doesn't actually do anything, so that's not going to do it. If I drag this, it doesn't drag. Blender sure is annoying. So now we've got this, and you can see that, oh, look, there is a little bit of mirroring already. That's the problem. The problem isn't that this shape key is not mirroring correctly. The problem is that I screwed up the mirroring. God damn it. Brow up, out, L. Let's make it again here. I probably just didn't undo properly when I was originally accidentally mirroring it. That'll do. I'll go ahead and inflate. See how that works. Oh, our eye is getting dragged along for the ride. You see that? That's something I generally want to avoid. But in this case, maybe I'll just drag it back down. That's fine. And we can just create that crease a little bit here. We can maybe drop this down. I guess probably this one's better. There. A little bit of a crease. Oh, look at that. It's that. It's this. Uh-huh. Okay, well, then we won't do that. Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it like that. Then we'll create a new one from mix here. Stop this. Remove, add in, mirror topologically. Come on. There we are. Oh, but did you see how the eyebrow got screwed up? So mirroring topologically doesn't work with the eyebrows. Interesting. So create new from mix. And then we'll mirror without the eyebrows. Or I thought the topology. There we are. That works. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll call this brow up out R. There we are. Fixed the brows. I don't really know what was wrong with them, but obviously it was going to be quite obnoxious to have characters that couldn't move their eyebrows. Now those are just quickly thrown together, so we may have a fairly limited set of expressions on our hands. Oh wow, I've already been going for 2 hours. Ooh, you all reverted to the default materials. I guess that makes sense. Aha, so the skin, which is supposed to be the first material, in this case it is not. It is the second material. If we take a look at the materials in our body here, you can see it's the first here in our Blender version. But for some reason, when Unity imports it, it's the second one. That's weird, don't you think? Anyway, we want our eyebrows. I think we're using eyebrows 01, yeah, to be there. And our other one to be here. Is there something wrong with this? It doesn't seem to be the right... there's something wrong with the UVs. Did this break all of our UVs? Oh my god. It broke all of our UVs. Why did merging in the goddamn eyebrows break our UVs? Oh, Colt Zero. If you're doing cartoon characters with huge eyes, you have to use 2 blink blend shapes. You can't use bones. I mean, you might be able to, but nobody does. What you do is you create a blink blend shape that goes halfway down, and you do another blink blend shape which finishes the job. And it's a lot more obnoxious than using bones, but it allows you to have your eyelids actually cover whatever size eyes you want to cover. My problem is that I totally borked it. How long can I unwind here? Beep, 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 beep. Okay, so I can rewind far enough that they are still different, where the eyebrow and our body are different. Now that means that we've unwound all of our brand new... No? Oh, this is weird. Wait. Blender let me undo a join and rewind back to the beginning of time, but it kept all of our shape key data? Blender's fucking weird. Wow, this is bizarre. Anyhow, even though the eyebrow is not attached properly, that should at least give us a body that doesn't look stupid. Colt Zero says, sucks about the UVs getting mixed up. It's not too big of a deal, because I could undo, but even if I couldn't undo, I can bring back the mesh from another body. Either way, it was clumsy of me to assume that nothing would go wrong. So, this is what she looks like if the eyebrow mesh, if the eyebrow skin is her skin. See? She who has only one cheek. Let's go ahead and give her a decent skin. There we are. So this will work aside from the fact that the eyebrow is not attached. Now we can manipulate the eyebrow separately. There are a lot of techniques we can use, and I'll have to do them. I'll have to make it so that you manipulate several meshes at once, and you apply similarly named blend shapes. That's actually pretty straightforward, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to write it down. Oh, there's where my pen went. Apply same name blend shapes. In parentheses, eyebrows. Excuse me. So let's just do a little bit more. I'm coming towards the end of my stream now, about 2 hours long. But there are still a couple of things I want to do. I want to make the expressions into a proper set of expressions for our character. Here they are. I've got grin and I've got frown. If I bring grin back, I can apply that like so. And then what we can do is we can lock this, grab an inspector, move it over here into the hierarchy view, select our character mesh. Here it is. Go in here, and we can save it on this side and modify it on this side. Great, right? So we'll go ahead and take the brow up mid here. Yeah, with the eyebrows. Wait, what? Wait, what? This is the problem I just fixed. Okay, so that's interesting. What the hell is going on with these? That one might be right. It's really hard to tell what's going on when I don't have a I don't have a mesh that I can see very clearly, but that does not look like it's going the right direction. I mean, that's pretty clearly like going flat back into the skull, even though I made it. I bet when I undid some of the deleted elements, didn't I? So we're going to go ahead and just make one more change. Go back into this, and we'll fix up that brow up mid. Because, oh, well, no, that's what I told it to do. It just doesn't look right for some reason. I guess I just screwed it up when I made it. Dumbass. It's really super clear when you have something that doesn't move stuck to it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and finish applying multi-blend keys and stuff because I want to make this work out. So we're going to go into our sculpt mode here and pull these forward. I guess we can inflate. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do. We'll go ahead and save that. But we're going to want to create eyebrows for the same brow up, brow scrunch, brow down, all that crap. So we'll start with the brow down old, still exists. Get rid of it. Brow down. Whoa. Boy, I screwed a lot of shit up, didn't I? God damn it. That undoing really, really screwed me up pretty bad. Fascinating. So brow down doesn't have anything applied to it. Let's go ahead and apply some. So when I hit undo a whole bunch, it undid some of my blend shape modifications and not others. Blender is really strange, everybody. Like, super weird. That's good enough. So now let's go ahead and do brow down on our eyebrows. That's fine. And we'll go back over into our face here and erase those brow downs. And we'll do a brow scrunch. Can we do a brow scrunch? That one didn't get deleted. But it looks like it might have... No? That was interesting. So here is our brow scrunch for our... Yoink. Just scrunch it up. That'll more than do, I think. I think we can raise this. Yeah, just bring it up like this. Perfect. All right, so that's the brow scrunch, and we'll go back over to our face. We'll take a look at our brow up mid, which in theory is correct. And then we'll go over here and have a brow up mid. Good enough. And then we've got our brow up L. All right. Brow up out L. And we'll do the same thing here where we raise the eyebrow up. We don't have to worry about accidentally collapsing our socket. That's nice. That's probably fine. It's got a little bit of a twist to it. Let's go ahead and see if we can do this without the twist. All right, so then what we're going to do is create a new shape from mix. Lower this down to 0. I bet I screwed that up, didn't I? I did. God damn it. All right. Delete. Delete. Brow up out L. Do not mirror. Don't need you anymore. Oh, Colt Zero says, could I ask you to take a look at the model I'm talking about? Sorry if you said that a long-ass time ago and I didn't say anything. I got focused and I stopped paying attention to the chat. I don't mind taking a look at models, but you got to understand that I am probably not the nicest guy. So, I mean, I'll try to give good feedback, but if you are a sensitive sort, it's very plausible that I might end up making you feel a little bad. I don't go like, oh, this model sucks, but I try and give actual advice. I don't remember what you were talking about, though, so that might be... If you want me to softball it, just tell me to. Oh, you're talking about the big... Oh, you're talking about the big-eyed thing. Yeah, I'm sorry, the big-eyed thing. Of course, I am... my brain is in a completely separate place right now. If you want to send me some screenshots or whatever, you can. I don't have a huge amount of advice other than using blend shapes like you're supposed to for large-eyed characters. New shape from mix, shrink the mix, grow the mix, invert the topology. There we are. Perfect. And we'll call this brow up out R. And I hope that those are correct. Brow up out L, brow yeah, good. Shrink those down, save this down, hit that like this, go back over here. And we're going to need to change some of our systems to allow for our expressions to be applied to meshes that aren't our face. So to do that, we'll just go ahead and pop up. Oh, I've got two of these open. That's super dangerous. Some more skinned mesh renderers. Public skinned mesh renderer. Other face meshes. And we'll just put in a tooltip here. Tooltip. Any blend keys with matching names will be adjusted. Oh, it's an MLP mesh. Yeah, you absolutely have to use blend shapes for My Little Pony meshes or any sort of hyper stylized cartoon mesh. You might be able to get away with using bone rigs for, for something like Adventure Time, where those characters don't have egregiously oversized eyes. But for anything anime influenced, you're going to need to use blend shapes. There's just no way around it. Oh yeah, and I gotta actually program it to use those additional face meshes. So for the other meshes now, for each skinned mesh renderer other in other face meshes, blend key equals face.sharedmesh.get blend shape index. I think that this works and doesn't break. I hope so. If it breaks when I try and search for other names, it'll be annoying. And then we'll get the exp.blendkeys a.key. If blend key is greater than or equal to 0, then it's not face, it's other, idiot. Other dot set blend key weight blend key comma value target val. And that will hopefully work. We'll just need to rig up our eyebrows so that they count here in our other face meshes. Boom. That should just work. I'm not sure what you want me to say, Colt Zero. If you have specific questions, just let me know. I certainly don't have any problem with rigging up, cartoon characters. I don't have anything against them, but you can't really use bones for eyes that size. Well, there are some rigs you can, but you can't export those rigs to Unity. So if you're making like a movie inside of Blender, you can do some cool stuff using like matrices and shit. But in general, blend keys are the accepted method. Right, so what was I trying to do here? Eyelids, that's right. So we've got some expressions happening, and we've got to make these expressions fit our needs. So if we go over here into our base mesh, and we go here to the inspector, we can take our brow up here. Yoink. Just bring that up like this, and give it a little bit of scrunch like this. And then we'll save that. There we go. And now we'll see whether or not that will also manipulate our... well, let's do the frown too. Why not? Let's clear current expression. Frown. And apply that. Frown. And we'll go ahead and do some brow down. And brow scrunch. And save that expression. And then we'll clear it. And let's see whether or not this works. Are you saying that you found another MLP model that uses bones for the eyelids? Because that's pretty impressive. And you can see that the eyebrow mesh is also rigged in the same way, and it works out great. Let's create a couple more face shapes before we call it a day. So if we were to unlock this, we can go over into our face shapes here on our neck, lock it here. We'll go ahead and make this next shape pixie face. Pixie face shape, we're going to want to bring down some jaw scale, but not in the way you might expect. We'll want to drop it down and then bring it forward. This. But we're also going to want to take the jaw left and the jaw right, and maybe... no, that's a little bit too extreme. What happens if we move them forward? Oh no, that's not going to work either. Cheeks. Yeah, something like that. Save. We'll go ahead and reset. And we will do... Colt Zero says that the eye sockets are really quite different. Well, I'm telling you, I'll just reiterate. The standard for large eyes like that is to use shape keys. Most people don't even try and use bones. Not for the eyelids. Not when you have eyes that size. Call this one Big Lip. And we'll go ahead and give her some big lip. Local. Global. No, we don't need to spin it. Let's go ahead and scale the upper lip too. That didn't work out. Well, shape keys would help because you just move, you create the shape key, and then you move the verts so that the eye is closed, and it saves that positioning. So I'm not sure why you'd have a particularly hard time with it. Yeah, your final shape key should have a okay, are you saying that your eyelids themselves don't have enough vert loops? Because you can just add some verts so that you can bow the eyelid out so that it covers the face, so it covers the eye in a curve. If your eyelids don't have enough detail, that's a separate problem, and having bones wouldn't help. Wide mouth. So if we take the wide mouth, we go a bit local here. Got the mouth L and the mouth R set up specifically to be dragged along a specific axis, like so, to give us that wide look. Now, of course, the issue with this is that it does drag the lips apart a little bit, but that's something we should be able to adjust just by bringing them down like this. There we go. And there we have our wide mouth. If we wanted to do this proper, we could also bring in the lower lips into the same sort of configuration. Like that. We'll go ahead and save that pose, and we'll go ahead and make a narrow mouth. Reset and do the opposite. Now if we switched from local to global, we can bring them in like this and like this. Now we have to massage these other lips into behaving. And our upper lips might also need to be massaged into behaving a little bit better than that. There we are. Narrow mouth. Those lower lips don't look very good though, do they? Okay, so if I were to bring them back out, I guess that's acceptable. Save pose. Let's go ahead and reset the pose and work on some nose stuff. We're just going to go ahead and create a couple basic noses. Cold Zero says, first time rigging a full character model. Good news, blend shapes have nothing to do with rigging. So, well, except of course when you're creating counter shapes, but let's not go into that. So what you can do is consider the eyelids completely separate from the rest of your rigging operations, but you still do have to make sure that the eyelids have enough verts to get the detail that you want. Oh, what happened to the other eyebrow? That's interesting. That's probably a hair-based rendering error. Anyway, we can now go ahead and create some nose-based manipulations here. We never did do the monkey face, so let's go ahead and do the monkey face. Monkey face. That's not it. Monkey face. And then we'll take the nose. Make it work a little bit better here. Save pose. And reset pose. Let's go ahead and see how this looks. We'll go ahead and duplicate our character again, just like we did before. And see if we got a camera in the right spot. Hit play. We still only have 2 expressions, but at least they have not too terrible a look to them now. All right, gotta go do a couple of little cleanup bits. Gonna post a little bit to Twitter, and then I'm out of here. So if any of you guys have any questions, this is your last chance to ask. Bum, bum, bum. All right, with that said, made some progress on making distinct characters. Still only have 1 haircut. Let's do it a couple more times and get some variations here. Also, not many expressions or mods built yet. OGs. In a screenshot Saturday. Why not? Made progress on distinct characters. All of those people are smiling. That's a little too creepy. That's also pretty creepy, but whatever. Tweet. And here's someone working on a project. I'll just tell him SSL is a pain in the ass. Tweet. I'm sure all of you needed to hear that, my opinions on it. So it looks like the only person who has any questions is Colt. He's talking about his rig. The cheeks and eyelids are definitely the hardest part to do correct. The cheeks will interfere with the way that the lower eyelid ends up closing if you're not careful. But you can use a bone rig for that if you really have a lot of patience. To be honest, I don't know if I would do it the way you're doing it. Because with cartoon rigs, the bones have to be really carefully massaged in order to get anything reasonable out of them. In terms of expressions, moving around your limbs and stuff, that should be bone-based. But I've always found it hard to get cartoon characters to look right when they are when their faces are bone-rigged. Still, good luck to you, and I'm sure you can do it one way or the other. And I'll see you next week. I'll stick around and chat for a little while longer, but I'm going hoarse, and I do have to eat something and shovel. So much snow. See you on Wednesday.